In today's video, we're going to give you 5 challenges new shooters face. Most new shooters fail at the range. In fact, nearly 40% of them never take a training class at all. They just burn through ammo and expecting to figure it all out. That's why their targets look more like a shotgun blast than they do a tight group. Don't be one of them, guys. Don't be them. Here are 5 rookie mistakes new shooters are making that are killing your accuracy, and we're going to give you how to fix them. If you don't know who I am, my name is John Johnson, and I own and operate a firearms training facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida, and I specialize in you. I specialize in the first-time shooters, getting them more comfortable shooting at the range. So these 5 tips I'm going to give you today helps you identify what you're doing wrong so you can improve. So check out these 5 tips I'm giving you and make sure you are solving your inaccuracy problems. So number 1 we would take a look at is a weak grip. I feel that most people think they're holding the gun properly, but the challenge is most students just don't understand how much pressure we need to put on the weapon. Your grip is your foundation. Too loose, wrong thumb position, too much grip, not enough grip. The gun's in charge of you. You need to make sure you're running the pistol. So how to fix this properly is getting a high, firm grip on the pistol. With your support hand wrapping all the way around the gun, you're going to lock those wrists out, lock the chest muscles out. You want to try to control the recoil, and that's going to help you tremendously. You don't want it the other way around. We don't want a loose grip. We don't want a slappy or sloppy gun. That's going to cause you to be off your line of sight, and that's not going to make you feel very comfortable. If you are not comfortable with the weapon or you're not comfortable with shooting the pistol, confidence would be really challenging for you. The more confident we can control the weapon, the more confident we'll be, and the more confident we'll be, the more accurate we'll be. So number 1 is bad or sloppy grip. Number 2 is really not standing properly. You're standing straight up or leaning backwards or just not getting a lot of 1 foot back, 1 foot forward. There are so many different stances we see as a firearms instructor, watching students every day come here and rent hours of range time. I can fix a lot of people's problems of inaccuracy just by fixing their stance, let alone all the other stuff I could help them with. But what tends to hold the pistol properly is a good, solid foundation. What we're looking for mostly is 2 feet, shoulder width apart, bouncing on your knees just a little bit, with your nose over your toes to control or soak up some of that recoil management we're looking for. The recoil wants to push you back, and you want to have a good, moderate stance that'll allow you to soak up the recoil. How do we fix a bad stance? Well, we get our feet shoulder width apart, bouncing on our knees, bent knees just a little bit, nose over toes, and be the boss of your balance. You need to balance yourself. If you're feeling recoil coming back at you, well, you're not really in control. So number 2 would be a bad stance. Number 3 is not having a proper trigger press. This is common for people. We tend to hurry or rush or do a lot of different stuff. Internally, we have monsters inside of us that don't want to be at the range, do not like the recoil, do not like the bang, and that becomes a little more challenging. Uh, this one here is one of those things that once you get control of your trigger press, the easier it's going to be. One of the challenges is if you've got everything perfect, but you got a bad trigger press, you're going to have bad accuracy. How do we solve the best trigger press we can? Well, we want to use the tip of our finger, not the crease. We want to bring that trigger back in a slow cadence, very slow, slow, slow. And you want to steady press the trigger back until the shot surprises you. A lot of people kind of rush the shots or pull the shots. These things will cause you to dip the front post or dip your sight system, which in turn, with the sight system being dipped, it's going to be more challenging for you as well. What I'd recommend is picking up or watching some of our YouTube videos about dry firing. Dry firing helps tremendously get you to understand trigger travel. Trigger travel is the actual distance between when you put your finger on the trigger and the gun goes bang. We need to understand how far or how much manipulation we can do without causing our front sight system to be bobbled. What tends to happen when you pull or jerk or over manipulate the pistol, you're over manipulating your front sight, which is causing inaccuracy. And when we're accurate, we're more confident, and confidence comes accuracy. When we are guessing or pulling or jerking, we're not gonna have the best trigger press we can. So number 3 was best trigger press you can do. Number 4 is you are chasing your target. I see this an awful lot. New shooters are focusing on that magical bullseye that's on most silhouettes, which is a real pet peeve of mine, because if you kind of take the target up behind my shoulder right here, if you look where the red circle is on that target, it's in the gut area. We don't want to do that. We want to kind of keep the sight system the best way we can, which is a 6 o'clock hold. But we want to visualize a target. So that's why I always recommend you try to work at the top shoulder area of the firearm. That's on those targets. There's a 7, 8, 9, 9 being at top, 9 being at the bottom, 7 being all the way top. We want to work in that area. We call it the boob line. Basically, you across your nipples and across your center chest muscles. If you put a 3x5 card or a 6-inch paper plate, that area up here is what we're trying to work on. And we want to focus on the best trigger, best sight alignment we can. And with the sight alignment, we need to control the weapon. How do we control the weapon? We already talked about grip. We already talked about stance. We already talked about trigger control. But now we need to get a consistent point of aim. And with consistent point aim, this is going to give us more control. So what we're looking for, instead of chasing the target, we're looking for like a 6 o'clock hold or something that we can focus on the target, identify the spot each time, and try to find that spot each time. How do we fix the shots wandering all over the place? Well, we need to focus, front sight focus as much as possible. Let me give you the vision we're looking for. We're looking for your front post to be crystal clear. We are looking for your back post with your 2 dots in the back, or if it's a Glock, a square, that being blurry, and the target being blurry, but consistent. And this is going to want you to have the best sight alignment you can have. When you trust your sight alignment, you trust your pistol, and then you're going to start trusting your impact, and that's what you need. We do not need to have any kind of look over or anything else like that, which would cause us some manipulation. If we pull the trigger and then look up over the pistol considered follow through, that's not really helping us very much, especially when we are shooting or pulling or jerking, because we know the bullet is not impacting where we're aiming, it's impacting lower. So, number four is getting a consistent sight alignment and stop chasing your target as much. Number five is mag dump mentality. Many people, many students, I see it every day. They come to the range because the magazine has 15 rounds in it. They want to dump 15 rounds all at once. Is this a good way to train? Absolutely not. It could be fun, but it's going to kill your accuracy, because now every time we touch the pistol, I want you as students to get into a factor of this is a discipline that you need. And every time we touch the firearm, we need to be learning good habits, not bad habits. Dumping 15 rounds all at once could seem fun, but it is going to kill your accuracy. You don't even know what you're doing wrong. Here's the problem. When we're pulling the trigger, the gun's at different angles, and that's why our targets look the way they do. When we get a good grip and a good control and we've got a good trigger press, now they're starting to stack on top of one another, and you get more and more. How do you get out of that mag dump mentality? Stick to 5 rounds at a time. Trust me, you will be consistent with 5 rounds. You will not be consistent with 15. Most people can control the firearm and the power and pressure, no matter what age you are, to control 5 shots. It's very challenging, even for me, to get past 5 and keep total control. And that's kind of what helps. So here's the fix: 5 rounds at a time. Shoot, stop, check, verify, look what's going on, get your markers. We tell everybody all the time, bring markers with you. Bring 4 different colored markers. This is a great training tip I can give you. What you want to do is shoot 5-shot strings. A string is a shot, is 5 rounds at a time. Shoot the 5 rounds, pull the target in, identify what you were doing. Were you shooting low and left? Were you anticipating the shots? Were you shooting below where you're aiming? Were you didn't have the gun in your sight alignment? Whatever you got to do to kind of identify, and then mark those 5 holes you just put in the target with a colored marker. Mark it on the target. Now do exactly the same. Do your adjustments. Okay, so here's the adjustment. I have the gun. I got the gun over my eye, but I'm still putting it over to left. Maybe I need to adjust my chin a little bit more. Marrying the weapon and the eye together is going to make me more accurate. Stop slamming that trigger. Start pressing that trigger, and your targets will help you identify what you're doing wrong. So here's the deal, guys. If you don't want to waste any more ammo and you don't want to figure it out yourself and you need my support and help, I have offer many opportunities for you to come here and shoot with us. Obviously, some are from Ohio and New York and all those places. But we do offer a few online training classes that we offer through our website, which will be in the link down below. We do offer, as a firearms instructor, I have a lot of educational stuff that have been put together for a long period of time. I've been instructing since 2013. I've taught thousands and thousands and thousands of newbies how to shoot and become more accurate. And I put my knowledge in some ebooks. And those ebooks, what are they about? They're about grip and stance and trigger control and sight picture and sight alignment. Everything a newbie like you would need to become more proficient. And a lot of times there's not enough time in a video like this to break down the science. But how about getting an ebook on the proper stance? How about getting an ebook on the proper aiming? How about grip? How about all the stuff that you need as a newbie? And if you haven't got one of our ebooks for free yet, I like to give them out for free. So if you put one of these ebooks in the description down below, there's five or six now, about grip, about stance, about trigger control, about sight picture, about sight alignment. And each one of these will give you the science of the fundamental, as well as give you what you're doing wrong and how to fix it. As a firearms instructor, my best thing for you is to give you the education to solve your own problems. And then when you solve your own problems, you're going to be a lot more confident. And when you're a lot more confident, you're a lot more accurate. So I would highly recommend you check out some of these ebooks that we have down below. If you're in our area in Southwest Florida, on the 19th of September, we have a newbie class. It's basically going to take them through grip and stance and trigger control. It's $39.99. It is open for 15 students. I think we have 10 spots left, and we're going to go from table to range. We're going to shoot rounds, and we are going to take the fear out of the firearm. I think this happens to a lot of students. They get a little nervous around a firearm, especially newbies, because they look at a firearm as a deadly weapon. I want you to understand that a firearm itself is not a deadly weapon. It is a tool, and that tool needs to have an operator, and that's all you need to be. So if you're looking to take it or start your shooting a journey, well, I'm here for you. That's what I do for a living. That's what I specialize in. I'm John, the firearms instructor, and I specialize in you. So there you have it, guys. There is 5 mistakes that new shooters are making that if you change a little bit, just a little bit, you'll have immediate results. Now make sure that you comment below. Let us know what mistakes you are making. And if you're looking to understand a little bit better, don't forget to check out any of our ebooks. I respond to most of my comments. We get an awful lot of them. But I'm here, really, honestly, guys, I started a YouTube channel to motivate, educate, and entertain. If you find any value on what I gave you today, and you want to help us out tremendously, go ahead and do what you need to do. You know, the old subscribe and like and blah, blah. What this does, guys, more than anything, it tells YouTube, I like this stuff. Please show me more of it. And then if you click subscribe and hit the bell icon, every time I upload a video just like this one, you will be the next to know. So until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.